All right, guys, welcome back to another special, not special, that's the wrong word,
Solemn?
solemn little mini episode of Man Bites Film. As always, I am Brandon. Joining me is Nincompoop number one, Lewis,
Hey, guys.
and of course, Dank, William Phoenix. I just wanted to call you by your actual name today.
It's all good. It's all good.
So,
We're doing this one better for better reasons, but
Yes. Today we wanted to talk a little bit briefly about what is happening in the current state of our world. So Lewis, take it away, man.
yeah, so honestly, all of us at Man Bites Media, we understand that what's going on in the world, and honestly, William brought up a very good point last week, that we should take a quick break for a little while, obviously, so it doesn't consume your Facebook feed, so it doesn't consume any type of media, and it doesn't cloud basically the media that's going on out there and the news stories that need to be heard. So in honor of that, honestly, I think William made a very good point, and I definitely think that we should honor that. And we're going to do a quick episode just talking about why we're doing this, honestly, and why each of us are doing this, and what do you call it? Give a couple recommendations to hold you over for the next few weeks, because we are going to be probably taking a break for the rest of June, just to basically give time for the events to unfold that need to unfold, honestly, in our day and age, and the changes that need to occur to give the best chances for the changes that need to occur in our society to occur. William, do you want to start off as well and give your reasons why?
yeah, I mean, I am like I said, like I've been looking around and I've been, listening, because this is what we're doing it. We are going quiet because even though the three of us are part of a minority group, right now the stage is not ours.
Yeah.
Right now the stage belongs, and rightfully so, to the Black Lives Matter movement, to the people that are out there fighting for justice, for equality, for no more police brutality. The stage is theirs, and we are going to listen. We are going quiet so that we can hear and leave more space and more room for these voices to be heard, because we know we will be here 3-4 weeks from now. Some of those people out there may not be here. And that's the whole point. That's the whole reasoning of what's going on. It's the fact that we live in a society where there are people of color, which at a simple police stop, getting pulled over by a cop, something that, as much as we hate happening to us, we know we are going to we can get vocal with a cop. We can say things. We don't ever fear, this is how I die. I have been in a car with a friend of mine who's African American, and we got pulled over. He was driving, and this was years ago. This is not recent. But he was freaking the fuck out. And at that time, I didn't quite understand why. Because to me, it was just like, we got pulled over. Were we speeding? Absolutely, we were speeding. But why are you freaking out? He's gonna give us a ticket. He's gonna see. And I mean, obviously nothing bad happened, but now, as there's that I think somebody tweeted it, where it's like, racism is not making a comeback. Racism has always been here. Right now, though now it's being caught on camera.
Yep.
So now there is no more this whole, oh, well, what happened was, and no, it's like, no, there's the video.
Yeah, there's no sweeping it under the rug anymore.
There is, exactly. And even now, while it's on video, people are still trying to sweep it under the rug. And that is what's wrong with what's happening, because, like there's this whole, like the 75-year-old guy that got pushed and then hit his head and started bleeding. And people are arguing that it's like, oh, he's an instigator and this and that. It's like, okay, but if the cops knew he was an instigator and doing something illegally, then they should have arrested him peacefully and just brought him off to jail. If they didn't know that he was an instigator, then that was definitely police brutality. And people are arguing that. So, and that's like, white on white. And so imagine people that are like, the voices out there are like, hey, there's proof. Even white on white, you guys are arguing. Imagine when it comes to us. So we are a fun group. We like to have fun. But right now it's not it's
not appropriate to have fun right now. We need to.
But right now it's not the moment.
A serious.
Right now it's for us to be quiet, to listen, to support, and to ask them, to tell people in this movement, if you need help, let us know. We are here. Tell us what to do to help you.
Yeah. And honestly, the only reason we will not be posting anything through social media is because we concentrate. Our focus is on film right now, and always has been. And this is outside of our purview to handle as a Man Bites Media. But if you do want to follow our individual social media accounts, I know William Phoenix honestly posts a lot about what's going on, and I will be posting sporadically different things and reposting and sharing and stuff like that, things that are going on that I see that I think have justification on my side to post. So if you do want to follow both of our accounts, you sure can, and you'll be able to get information through that. But we will not be posting anything through Man Bites Media whatsoever regarding these events.
I know I'm not as vocal on Instagram, but House of Phoenix Cosplay on Instagram, I'm definitely voicing my support there. And then if you are friends with me on Facebook, you definitely see the brunt of the support and how much how involved I am in all this, because
exactly.
We have all seen it. All three of us have seen our friends get mistreated, have been, I don't know what the terminology is. Sometimes I don't English well and I apologize, but
I've seen it as well. I've seen
we've seen our friends be discriminated against.
Mm-hmm.
And and at the time we're like, what do we do? Like there's that awkward moment where you're like, do I get involved? Do I step back? And I've been guilty in the past where I watched it. It was very uncomfortable, but I did nothing. And that's on me. And I will no longer be doing that. If I see that somebody's been discriminated and somebody's getting in somebody's face, I will be right there standing with that person going, if you're going to scream in their face, you're going to scream in my face. And they may not react, but I sure as hell will. So make sure that you know what you're doing.
I agree.
Because I will not sit there and watch my friends break down and cry because they're getting pulled over by a police officer, because somebody's telling them to go back to their country, because somebody's telling them they're not dark enough to be, their complexion's not dark enough to be a Latino, because whatever other reason. That has ended, and I know in the past week, I think I'm up to about 15 people that I have unfriended on Facebook. And it's not because, they don't have the same ideology as you and they don't have the same thought process. We can have different opinions. Those different opinions are whether Friends is a better show than How I Met Your Mother, whether the Yankees are worse than the Red Sox, whether this or that. There is no difference in opinion in racism.
Like William and I both have arguments constantly about politics and all that stuff, because I consider myself conservative and William is very liberal. So so we both get into arguments constantly, but this is beyond political agenda or political ideals. This is just human life. This is not this is beyond any political affiliation, and I will not accept that this is a political issue. This is a cultural issue, and that's why we're addressing it on this show, obviously, and because we will never get into political battles or anything like that on here. But this is a social, cultural issue, and we need to address it, and change needs to happen. This needs to occur. This is the year for this to actually make a difference and stop this systematic racism that we've been dealing with in this country and by we I mean everybody in this country that has had any moment of racism thrown towards them. Honestly, anybody. I don't care what color it is. Any racism in this country should not be it should not happen. So honestly, I think that we need to get past this as a people. And we all bleed the same color.
Yes, we do.
Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I said, yes, we do. We are all people at the end of this, man.
And we all came from the same place, man. Wherever that is, wherever your belief is, wherever your either religion, your social beliefs, or your thought process, whatever it is, we all came from the same place on this planet. Yep. And we need to stop this. Everybody out here is either your brother or your sister, or somewhere in between. And honestly, like we need to stop this. I have never understood racism even as a child. I never understood why this was a thing. Growing up in Miami, it was very much like very different. I never saw real like racism, really, not really. But that's because it's a melting pot, and it kind of it's null and void for the most part, but you do see it when you look. And obviously we're a movie show, and we want to bring a couple of things that are on topic and bring a couple of movies that stood out to us if you want to go down the rabbit hole and educate yourself about what is going on. So if, like me, that you never saw racism in your life, you never saw it until you got to a certain age, well, this is when you could experience it, and when you could see as little as you can, because this is a movie. It's not you being put in that position, but at least it gives you the opportunity to see what some people have gone through in this country. And I want to recommend just a few, honestly. I Am Your Negro is streaming on Amazon Prime. This is one of the most impactful movies I've ever seen in my life. It is a very slow movie, but that is done because it's actually told in the point of view of a black man in the United States. And it's told through the reading of a diary of a black man. And it's mostly done in voiceover. But god damn, is it fucking impactful. And it will get you to tears. I promise you that. And it will make a difference in your life watching this movie. The next one that I want to bring up is actually a documentary, and it's called The Uncomfortable Truth. This is the story of a white gentleman that actually finds out that his family used to have slaves in the United States, and he finds out why, because he lived in the North, so he never thought that his family had slaves. So he goes down this path to uncover why his family had slaves, why it started, how it started, and just it shows that people all over the place could have actually done this, no matter where you were, no matter how you think currently your family could be connected to one of the most atrocious war crimes in history, or crimes in history. William, you had a few recommendations as well?
I do actually. So I ended up watching a couple of these, which I can definitely highly recommend. See You Yesterday.
Yeah.
It is streaming on Netflix. It's about this girl who tries to go back in the past. Her brother ends up getting killed by a white police officer. Obviously, it's like on a sci-fi level ish. She finds a way to go back in the past to try and save her brother, but as she does, somebody else ends up getting killed, and then it's like a never-ending cycle, and it's really good because not only do you see the tension between whites and blacks, you also see the tensions between blacks and blacks. So it doesn't try to like say, oh no, it's only about this. It's like, no, like it covers so many different issues that there are, which I thought was like very well done. Just Mercy, which is the Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx movie, which is really, really, like, it's really good.
It's really, really good. I agree with that. It's definitely one of the
well filmed. It's well paced also.
Yeah.
Not just well filmed. It is free on Amazon Prime through, I want to say, the end of June, they said. It is a biopic because it is very much based on a true story. I did the homework on this one, and I would say it's probably, I mean, obviously it's rushed for time, you know, the timing of the movie, but it's about 98% factual. Like,
yeah,
there is nothing that really that's made up to make it a Hollywood movie. 13th is a documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, that I covered last year on that one.
That came out last year as well. I highly recommend that. And the other two, which I think, although they are well noted, it's always good to go back and watch them, because now when you have stuff like this that's happening and it's so in your face, and you go back and watch these movies, which when you were watching them, some people may have been, that was a good movie. Like, you know, like, yeah, they talked about it, but now that it's like in your face, like, think how far back. Like, for example, Hidden Figures, which goes back all the way to the space launch. So we're talking like 63, 68, and people were dealing with it back then.
Yep.
And when you think that it's now 50, almost 60 years later, and people are still dealing with the same racial issues, try to understand why people are sick of it, why it's as loud, like why the voices are as loud as they are now. And the other one that I liked it on different levels is If Beale Street Could Talk.
I had my problems with this one last year, honestly. I had my issues with it.
I'm not sure where that one is streaming. I gotta check. I want to say
that's on Amazon Prime.
Or Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend those viewings. And on top of it, since, like, you know, we are going to be quiet and we're saying we're making room, I'd just like to really quickly go over some.
Oh, before you do that, let me jump in with two last things. Check out American History X. This is a true examination of what happens and why racism takes a foot on people. I think it's very important to watch this, because you actually understand why people turn to racism, why it's honestly like ignorance and a way to cope with things, and how we could actually fight the intolerance by presenting facts and giving opinions and making it known why it's wrong. And then the other one is The Help. This is an amazing original, a true story that is based on the stories of these indentured servants. That's what they were technically, but it was post-slavery, and they basically were indentured servants. And how they are treated as second-class citizens, if not worse. And they're treated on the margins of society, honestly. And it is an impactful movie. That one's streaming on Netflix, actually. So go ahead, William. Go ahead with the organizations, please.
Well, no, it's not organizations. It's podcasts featuring Black voices. And I will say this is thank you to Mandrakes and Mischief on Instagram. She's the one that posted this and sent it to me to tell me, hey, if you guys are doing it, here you go. For example, listen to Wizard Team. It's on blackgirlscreate.org. The Read. This is on thisistheread.com. Best Friends with Nicole Byer and Sashir Zamata. Yearwolf. Ear is in like nose and ear. So EARWOLF.com. Hood X Holistics. This is at wearhoodxholistic.com. And to make it easier also, I'm going to send this to us so that we can post it on our wall. So if you guys want to write this down or follow it, and you can, and you'll be able to get a visual of where it is. Black E. This is at jonathanspurkings.com. The last two, Code Switch. This is on twitter.com/NPR Code Switch. And the last one is the The Sartorial Geek. And that's at sartorialgeek.com. These are all podcasts featuring Black voices that you can definitely go and listen and support and follow. And that's pretty much all I've got.
Okay, and just before we wrap up, just to let you know, none of these podcasts are endorsed or sponsored by Man Bites Media. So if there is any issues or anything like that with the podcast that may arise, they're not associated with us. We are recommending them to check them out because of recommendations by friends. So please be aware that this is not a direct recommendation from Man Bites Media. William is bringing this as a personal choice, so please check those out, and we will, vet these as well. And if we do see any issues, then we'll take them down. But honestly, these, you have to look out. Go look for things and find things out there. Make sure that media that are hosted by African Americans or people in general that are Black, let's support any artist, any companies, anything out there, because we need to give our support and show our solidarity with our communities.
Absolutely.
So Brandon, you had any wrapping up words?
Yeah, I know I've been very quiet. I was saying this off air to the boys. I don't particularly like telling people what my feelings are. Like, of course, there is an issue and it needs to be addressed. There is unwarranted violence by the police, specifically towards the Black community. And that needs to be addressed. But I personally just don't feel comfortable letting the world or our fan base know what my thoughts are on this. It's just I'm more of an internalized. I think about it to myself, and
yeah, no, definitely,
it's
I agree.
just the way I am. But yes, I do think that what is happening is horrible, but also it's empowering to see that people are finally, standing up for what they think is right.
Agreed.
And hopefully this changes things. Hopefully it's not for nothing.
And honestly, I want to wrap up and just close out the show. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, William, for jumping on and doing this quick episode. And I want to thank everybody out there, honestly. Anybody that's either listening or anybody that's out in the streets. Anybody that's putting their lives on the line. Because unfortunately, that's what it's come to. That we are putting our lives on the line by actually voicing our opinion about things. So definitely, and I'm not talking about us in particular because I have not been able to go out to any of the protests personally, but I'm talking about everybody in general. Please put them in your prayers, put them in your thoughts, put
Stay
them in
safe.
your well wishes. Exactly. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
And honestly, we'll be back once things calm down a little bit and we don't feel like we are oversaturating or overpowering the message that needs to be out there, honestly. So please stay tuned to the show, stay subscribed and all that stuff, and we'll be putting out content soon, hopefully, and we'll see you guys soon or hear from you guys soon. Have a great night, and I hope you guys stay safe.
Likewise.